what's up? It's your boy Devin Styles, aka Nerd Boy, aka Dark Skin Pretty Boy, aka Luke Ribcage, aka Stilo Dev, aka Devin Zoolander. Coming all the way live from my domicile. And you are again?
E. Just E. What's up, y'all?
Right, just E. We want to wish you all a
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Yeah, 2021. Hopefully it'll be better than 2020 because that year was trash.
Well, so far.
Yeah, well, speaking of that, what did you do for New Year's Eve?
So I didn't really do much. I did a business conference, like a women's empowerment conference.
Oh, yes, of course. A business conference, yes.
Just like goal setting and trying to prepare for the new year and, you know, what I want to get out of there, manifesting and, you know, putting into the universe. And then just chilled. That's it.
Did you make a vision board?
No.
Okay.
I used to always make vision. I mean, I didn't like vision. I used to always do it, but I just too much arts and crafts. I just put it in my phone.
I feel you. That's one of those things that I don't think I could ever get serious about because it would feel too much like school for me.
Yeah. It does.
And I just feel like, what's the point?
Well, what did you do?
Well, what I did is, it's so exciting. Like, I'm so happy to tell you about it. So, nothing.
Oh, I was about to say, I didn't think you did.
I ain't do shit. Like, well, actually, what I did was I drove for a Lyft, and I took people who are a lot cooler than I am, and I took them to their respective parties, and I think they had a good time. One woman smelled like salmon. I'm glad she got out the car smelling like halibut. Whatever that is. I don't even know what halibut is, but it's some kind of fish, mackerel.
Shut up.
Mackerel. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, it was all right.
If things were open, you probably would have had more business. Were you busy?
No, I mean, I won't even say I was really busy, because I only set out to do a couple trips. Mm-hmm. I don't think I was as busy as I would be on normal years where everyone's out.
We was on punishment.
Yeah, we was on punishment. We were grounded. And it was cool, but I really have gone away. That's actually the first time that I drove for Uber or Lyft in about 4 or 5 months, just because I didn't want to put myself at more risk potentially by having people in such close quarters in my car. So, yeah. But, I mean, I'm glad that you had a good, productive New Year.
You know, another year, another day.
Right. So, now that we're in 2021, we know that the popular thing that a lot of people like to do is have New Year's resolutions. And one thing I wanted to ask you about before you give me what your New Year's resolution is as someone that goes to the gym frequently, how do you feel when you see all of these people get on social media, make fitness goals, and then they sign up for a gym membership, and then about 2 weeks later they quit and they never go back?
I mean, I love to see new people in the gym. I mean, new people, new goals. To see people trying to improve themselves and be better, like, who would be mad at that? Like, I mean, of course the gym's always a little more crowded, but, you know, who's mad at that? I like to see people in there working on their fitness. And then when I don't see them, I mean, that happens. It's happened to me. It's probably happened to you. Things happen and get in the way, and not everybody is where I am, and not everybody is where you know, we have to start somewhere. So, unfortunately, failure is a part of that. Eventually, I hope they get it. I hope they come back. I hope they're encouraged. That's why I'm always making fitness posts and things like that on social media, because you never know who you're inspiring to come back. And that's why when they're first coming in, it's really important to kind of embrace them and not look down on them or make them feel like they don't belong, because I want everyone to be healthy and come back.
Yeah,
right?
I was trying to go the petty route, but you went the respectful route. So that's fine. That's cool. But one thing that has always perplexed me about the gyms, specifically Planet Fitness, I've heard some things about pizza being given out on Mondays, but you're supposed to be toning. So what do you think about that?
Well, okay, so I'm not allowed. I mean, not saying I'm not allowed in Planet Fitness, but I have set off the alarm enough times that they are like, you can't come back if you act that way. Like,
what, you be grunting and stuff?
No, I mean, like, maybe. Not like, but, you know.
Oh, right, because they got that rule.
Yeah. The one time I had on a Under Armour headband, like, I love headbands and hats, and they told me I couldn't wear that because it was intimidating. One time I had on a sleeveless shirt and they told me I had to leave, like unless I had another shirt. And one time, like I carry a jug of water to get my gallon in, you know, and it set off an alarm and they were like, you can't have that here. So I haven't been back since. But.
So somebody actually walks up to you and tells you these things.
There's an actual alarm.
There is alarm. You know what? So I have to be honest. I had a Planet Fitness membership many moons ago, and I didn't go consistently enough to experience all of that. So that's why I'm actually learning from you right now, because I didn't experience it. Because you know, you get a little bit, you be there, but if you don't have a workout partner, and then you know, it's just you start looking in the mirror, and like 1 minute it's like, okay, you're lifting weights, but then the next minute it's like, hey, I look pretty cool. Like, wow, this is a nice shirt right here. Hey, I can do the Carlton in the mirror. And then it becomes after a while, like, why the hell am I going here? Because I can do the Carlton at home. Yeah. So they set off alarms because you got guns and you be wearing sleeveless shirts and you be doing the most. Why,
okay. Yeah, so I haven't been back there. I mean, I like it there for cardio because they have a ton of cardio equipment, but they don't really have a ton of like weights and squat racks and stuff like that, benches.
So what is your go-to gym?
Well, Crunch is where I go to now. But it honestly depends on what I'm in the mood for and like what I'm doing. I like to have various memberships, like Exercise Warehouse in Lawrenceville. It's like a real bodybuilder's gym.
Is that by the Shop and Save?
Yeah, like on the left side.
I know exactly. I didn't realize they were. I thought they just did like CrossFit.
Oh no, it's like I love it there. It's like a hole in the wall kind of, not like, but it's, you know, it has like a ton of equipment. It has upstairs. It has like a room that you can just like, if you want to just do like plyos, or they have ropes and stuff like that.
What are plyos?
Like plyometrics, like squat jumps and stuff like that. But
explosive exercises.
Right, exactly.
Right, I might have been a little bit.
Okay.
Right.
But so that's kind of LA Fitness. I'm not a fan of LA Fitness. People just talk too much there for me. But that's where I first started out.
You mean like socializing, like while you're trying to be in the zone?
Yeah. And it could just be because I know a lot of people there, but I don't know. It's just not really my atmosphere.
No, I understand, because I feel like what I know about working out, or what I know about just observing athletes, is that you have to actually have that laser focus, like tunnel vision, and it's hard to do that when people are constantly distracted.
Well, it's hard to do that. I mean, I wear my big headphones, like my Beats, so that people think, like sometimes I can hear people, or I can see their mouth moving, but I will wear my headphones so that they think that I can't hear them. They'll be like, excuse me, I'll be like,
speaking of that, we're going in a bunch of different directions here, but that's okay. So, me and you are both riding on the bus together. I think you look all right. You have headphones on, but there isn't any sound coming out. I try to talk to you. Excuse me.
You touch me?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I get, I'm not touching you. But I get close like that. Right. But you don't respond, or even worse, you do something like this, and I've seen this way too much. Like, sorry. Do you do that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I would do that. But if someone does that to me, I'll be like, yes. Right. I'm bothered.
Okay. All right. I got you. Just seeing how you operate, like when you were single and everything, just seeing how you would operate as far as entertaining people, strangers.
I talk to, like, that doesn't bother me.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
All right. Good to know. So, just for the record, fellas out there, all of our male listeners, just know that there are women out there like E who are approachable. That doesn't mean that they're going to give you exactly what you want, but at least they can be cordial with you and give you a basic conversation before they're like, all right, I'm going to get back to my book now. All right, and we're back. Sorry for the interruption, but we're back just like we never left before. I'm trying here. Just let me work, woman. Let me do what I need to do. So, when we last left off, we were talking about how you tend to be an approachable person.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's all we got with that. So, we covered the gym already. I'm glad that we talked about that, because I just think...
Are you going to go as your... because I know you have those weights over there that still have the tags on them and all, but...
All right. So, full disclosure, I do have some weights that I've purchased, and before you leave, I'll let you see all the weights in the back of the room, because I actually moved them out of the studio because I realized, like, why the hell do I have all these weights here when I know that 3 o'clock in the morning I want to go and get some water? Ouch! And I keep, so it's just like, duh, move them. But yeah, like when I was getting that good pandemic unemployment assistance, then I was just going to Walmart and I was just like really like stacking up on all the weights. So, but to answer your question, I don't even want to.
If you say it, okay, if you say it, I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay, all right. Well, that's what I need. I need an accountability partner. Okay. All right. So, all right, how about this? I'll work with you. We'll create a light, easy to manage workout regimen, a basic one, not what you do.
But what's easy to manage? What do you mean?
I don't know, but we'll talk about it later. But yes. I think getting more fit is always the move. I mean, and it's funny because I think for me, when it comes to my own fitness goals, the part of the problem, and I think we talked about this before, is that I'm not always internally motivated. Or if I do have internal motivation, then it's always superficial. It's like, oh, well, maybe women might like me more if I had more stature or something like that. And I think for me, I need to marry me wanting to quote unquote look good for the ladies with also wanting to be in the best physical shape that I can be in. So I think that for me, the only time I really start to feel some type of way about my own body is like when I used to work for a flag football league and I would be around all these football players and it didn't really register in my mind that this is what they do. Like, this is what you do, so you have to be built a certain way. Like, you have to have calves, you have to have thighs, you have to have arms and all this stuff.
Were you, like, comparing yourself?
Yeah, definitely. I was comparing myself, and I think, and I think that led me to thinking that I feel a little bit inadequate when you start talking about like masculinity and
right. Yeah, that's natural.
Yeah. So, but. Since you've agreed to be my accountability partner,
I got you.
All right, then we'll discuss it after we get done with the podcast.
We're gonna see.
But do you have any New Year's resolutions?
No, I don't really make resolutions. I kind of do more like every day I want to be better than I was the day before. Think about like when I wake up in the morning and I do like a meditation. Think about all the things that I can do differently that I did yesterday, or like things that happened maybe that I want to change. I do a lot of goal setting. I don't know, is that the same as resolutions? Like, you want your business to do this, you want your body to do this, I do that kind of thing. I don't really have like resolutions.
Well, so that's a good question. So for me, I think what we have to establish with resolutions are they short term? Like, if we're using the word goals, are they short term? Are they long term? Are they immediate, like for this year? Or are you? Because I think sometimes what happens to a lot of us is that we tell ourselves to kind of reach for the stars and make lofty goals, but then when you actually have to do them, it's like
it's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah,
I use a planner. So the planner you put in your short term goals and your long-term goals, and then you break it down by your goals as to steps how you're going to take to get those goals, and then you have to do a map to put them all together. So you're accomplishing your short-term goals, but you're also working towards your. I know that's a lot, but
no, it's cool. I'm listening.
It just helps to not be overwhelmed, because it is like, oh, I want this new car. How am I going to get? But you're not really. You don't have a plan, how to get there. You just know something that you want. So that kind of helps it break it down.
Somebody on another podcast, they said something that really stuck with me. They said people have A to Z dreams, but they don't have A to B movements. Something like that. So, and I think that's...
I like that.
Yeah. I forgot what the dude's name is. He got a podcast that said that, but I was like, yeah, that is really dope. But anyway, I feel like that is me, and that's a lot of us, because we just kind of... We tend to bite off more than we can chew. Like, think about, so I'm going to give you an example, and I don't want to make this just a male thing, but I know that a lot of men end up doing this. So you go to the grocery store, and you come back, and it's time to carry all the groceries into the house.
I do. I one trip.
Okay.
One trip, bro.
Okay.
You get one trip, all them bags. I'm gonna get it.
Right. And
at all costs.
And you're kind of a tomboy too, so you can. So maybe this doesn't apply to you as a woman, as maybe a typical woman that would make many trips to make the work. I mean the load a little bit lighter and more manageable. But the reason why I bring this up is because I think that, especially if we're talking about not just masculinity, because like obviously you're not a man, but still like you can identify with this. But I just think that whether we're carrying bags, whether we're in the gym, whether we're talking about sexual performance, we always want to perform and perform well, improve. And I think that when we do that, though, we're often like sacrificing what would be best for us in the long term just because we want to prove something to ourselves or other people. So that's how I feel. I don't know if I have New Year's resolutions. I would just say, as far as goals, like you mentioned your business goals, I think for me, I just want to continue to grow the podcast and the vlogging thing and just doing more interviews with people, because I see, so we were talking about it yesterday about how Joe Budden is interviewing Dr. Fauci about coronavirus. And you can look at Joe and you can feel however you want to about him, but that's major though. That's not just like one of his homies in the rap game that's calling him, like, no, he's talking to like the highest ranking doctor in the country. And when I look at Charlemagne and Angela Yee and Envy interviewing former President Obama, it's just like I see that, and that's inspiring me. So I want to continue to grow with this kind of thing and just being someone who's a storyteller that people really mess with. Yeah, that's dope. As great as Drake is, he can't mess with Weezy.
No, I agree.
And most people can't mess with Weezy. With Weezy, you got to start going into like Jay-Z, Nas. You gotta be somebody like that got like a.
And his thing is he has mixtapes with the hub. Like there's just so much, and he's the feature king. He is the king of features.
Yeah, he is. No, he's got everything. I think there are certain names when you start saying Wayne, Jay, Kanye. I think despite forget about how you feel about him politically, but Kanye's got like a lot, especially because he's a producer too. Right. So yeah, certain ones. Yeah, certain ones you just don't mess with.
So
but
Jack Harlow was dope.
Jack Harlow was really good, and just to kind of put a button on that conversation, I wasn't really expecting it just because I see a white guy and I'm just not sure what to think before they open their mouths. And when I see the cosign already, I'm like, all right, you got these big name rappers on your shit, but it's like, did you really earn it? But after listening to him, I can tell. Like, you know who gets on my nerves? Like, or I won't say gets on my nerves, but Post Malone. I don't know.
I love Post.
I think, and he makes good music too.
I think once he found his lane, I think it took him a second to get there, but I think now he's kind of found his lane as a little in between.
And then another one, and I think what happens with some artists, or with some white artists that do hip hop music, is that they can, if it's not working for them in hip hop, they can always default to going country, like Machine Gun Kelly. Yeah. Like he can, or I think he did rock and roll.
He did rock and roll. He just did a rock and roll one.
Right, and what's the name? And they don't have to. It's almost like if you're black and you do something like that, like if LL Cool J makes a country song, we're gonna be like, oh, we're gonna look at him like that. But Machine Gun Kelly, we don't care. Like Eminem can make whatever music he wants, and he'll still be fine. He doesn't lose anything.
Right. You know who talked about that is K Michelle. You know, she's like a. Did you know that she's like a country? Like she wanted to be country.
I might have heard that in the interview.
Yeah, she wanted to be country. She's like a yodeler or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but it was a big deal because she was like super excited to make her country album. I don't know if it ever came out. I don't think so, but yeah, it was a big deal.
All I'll say about K Michelle is that she's a lot.
Yeah,
she's a lot, and unfortunately for her, it's almost like reality TV, where you know someone more for how they conduct themselves on social media as opposed to the talent that they possess in their voice. I think something similar like that happened with Tamar Braxton, where she's really right, but
she's my favorite singer. She can
of all time?
Not of all time.
Oh, okay.
No. But like, I mean,
she's
right
one
now,
of your favorites.
She's one of my go-tos.
Okay.
She can sing. That girl can blow. I think she's actually better than Tony. She has way more range than Tony. Tamar be up, do the Mariah, she did all that.
Right. No, and that can be all well and good. I'm not listening to Tamar over Tony. I mean,
because Tony has the hits.
Right, and right, she does have the hits, but also I think it is weird because something I was thinking of when, and I'm gonna probably have this conversation some more times, but thinking about the whole, like when the Joe Budden podcast when Maul a couple episodes ago was talking about how Ariana Grande is one of the greatest vocalists of all time.
You had to turn it off.
Right, because to me, if you just say she's talented, she makes good music, and as far as contemporary music or contemporary pop, whatever, like, then that's one thing. But when he said greatest of all time, and then when Joe basically baited him into saying, oh, so you think she's better than Stokely from Mint Condition? And he was like, yes.
Yeah.
She was like, yeah.
And he tried to backtrack that.
Of course. but the thing is, of course, Joe said the internet tore him up and just because Ariana Grande has a lot of fans that shout at you and yell and say, you're wrong, that doesn't mean they're right.
Yeah, I know. And I feel like a lot of times people backtrack just because they don't want the negative feedback on Twitter.
Right. And it just...
I mean, she is an amazing vocalist. She has great... Like, she's just... not the greatest. Not even close. She's not even top 25.
And the reason why I bring her up is because... So we were talking about Tony before I brought up Ariana Grande. Tony is certain ones... Let me say it like this. Certain people, their elocution or their enunciation, their diction of words and all that stuff, you can hear them, the clarity. Like, certain people, I feel like you give them more leeway. Like, when I hear like an Anita Baker or a Tony Braxton, you can't necessarily make out every word they're saying, but the melody of what they're saying carries so well. Whereas I think when Ariana does it like it just like it just like I don't know. I don't think, like, I feel like what I would be willing to deal with Tony and Anita, I'm not trying to hear that on you doing a pop record and you still sound like that.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Right. So for me, I would have to think that there were a lot of albums that came out. I think Nas's King's Disease was a very good album. I think... How
do you rate that in his collection?
I think it's up there. I don't know exactly where I would put it. I mean, he has so many classics that I think it would be blasphemous just to be like, oh yeah, this is just right up there. Like, this is Illmatic or something like that. But I do think that is well done. And I think more is to be said about the longevity, the fact that he can still do it. And what some people say has plagued Nas in the past is his beat selection. And they feel like, oh, you just try to rhyme on anything and you can't really catch that pocket. But I feel like on this album, working with Hit Boy for the whole entire album, I think now you have more of a signature sound that's universal throughout the album. And I feel like that really helped. I mean, the track where you have the reunion of the Firm, the original Firm members, including Cormega, like Full Circle. Like, I like that track a lot.
That was dope.
I feel like there were some other tracks I liked a lot too. I think, Car 85 with Charlie Wilson singing is a really good cookout song. I got a downstairs neighbor, he's like in his 40s, and he be blasting that shit. Only thing is annoying is that it be like 2 a.m, and he be like, and he be singing, and you know, and he be doing that, and I just be like, dog, take your ass to sleep, man. But I really like King's Disease a lot, and I don't know, I liked Busta Rhymes' album too.
Yeah, Busta's was good.
I talked about that in a vlog. So those albums, I feel like you got 2 OGs that are putting out great music. So I really like that. And something else I wanted to bring up. Did you listen to the 2020 wrap-ups by Uncle Murda and by Skills?
Uncle Murda has just taken, I mean, he is the better of the two. Do you agree?
Yeah.
He said a lot of things. I was like, ooh, like, yeah, we was thinking that.
So I was watching the Joe Budden podcast and they were talking about it, and it was funny because they talked about Joe with the scandal about you jerk off dogs.
Yeah.
And Skills mentioned that you a whole weirdo, and Joe was like, it's not that you diss me, it's the fact that you had the ad lib that said you a whole weirdo. Cause just saying what the fuck is wrong with me, that's the wrong thing. But when you start, you a whole weirdo, and it's just like the beat drop and everybody can hear that. He's like, yo, you got my number, fam. You could call me. But anyway, to get back to the comparison between both of the wrap ups, I do agree. Uncle Murda, I think Uncle Murda made, first of all, the beat switches and the fact that he took old school records and he remixed them and rapped over them, and I think also the aggression in his voice. What's happened with Skills is I think his has become really commercialized, and his is probably more palatable for people that aren't black or aren't big hip hop fans.
Right.
Because and the funniest thing is when Parks was talking about how throw in the trash, because that's the thing in the background. Like it's really him mumbling, throw in the trash, like that's his Skills. Whereas Uncle Murda's has more replay value. It's just better all around. And Skills is just Skills sound. So I put it like this: Skills is like Saturday Night Live, and Uncle Murda is more like Def Poetry Jam or BET, the basement.
Yeah.
That's what I
agree.
Yeah. So all right. So now I think we're ready to introduce a new segment that you came up with. It's called Dear It's Just E.
That's me.
Yeah.
All right. I got a good letter. We're going to ask people if you guys want to send in letters anonymously. You're more than welcome to. Drop them in the DMs, and we'll read them out loud and give you our best advice, a.k.a. Dear Abby.
All right.
All right. So let me get this phone. Okay. So, do you have any letters?
I don't have any letters. I didn't do my homework or something.
See, I ain't going to call them out. All right. So let me see. All right. So this is a good one. This one is from Lost in La La Land.
Lost in La La Land.
Yes. Dear E, I recently entered into a same-sex, long-distance relationship with a woman I met through social media. She started following me from a mutual friend connection, and we became friendly from the jump. The furthest thing from my mind was making a romantic connection, but it evolved in a very natural way. We talk for hours, have weekly FaceTime dates, and genuinely enjoy each other's company. As of late, though, she's expressed her interest in us taking things to the next level and eventually having me move in with her by the end of 2021. Honestly, the request threw me for a loop. I really do feel myself falling for her, but we haven't even officially met in person. When I shared my feelings on the matter, she mistook my reservations for disinterest. We still talk every day, but something has changed in her demeanor. Could I have handled the situation differently? Can I reach out to our mutual friend in confidence as well? Sincerely, Lost in La La Land. La 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 la.
So what's your advice?
So I personally, she says she had reservations. And I guess it's a little unclear like what her reservations are, because if you enjoy my company, it's not like you don't know what I look like because we FaceTime, but you're like, It can come across, and I guess it would depend on how she said it, but it can come across as like none of that's enough, like, for me to want to commit to you.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem is, and I don't want to say this, but I remember me saying women are very emotional beings. So when you have two, I could never be in a same-sex relationship because just one of me is enough. Can you imagine two of me?
No.
Yeah, I know. But so there's going to be a lot of emotion there. So I think as a woman in a relationship with another woman, you have to kind of just be a little more clear on exactly what you're saying and communicate a little bit better, maybe. So my advice for you, Lala, would be if you feel that she has changed a little, maybe you should just speak to her directly about it. Don't beat around the bush. And I would not say go to the mutual friend. You don't be putting your friends all in the business. Maybe she don't want her, her friend, or I don't know what that relationship is, but she might not want her to know, like, I want this girl to move in with me. You never know. Mm-hmm. But so I would not go to the mutual friend. I would go to her directly, communicate with her, express your interest, maybe express to her why you have reservations, and just be honest. I mean, you can't do anything but be honest. And if she still has a problem with that, then next.
I feel you.
What about you? What do you think?
Well, I think that you said a lot. I tried to keep track of it, but I zoned out a little bit. All I got is same sex, two women.
That's where you stopped at.
No, not just that, but anyway, like what long distance. One is kind of lopsided as far as one really wants to progress the relationship forward in a serious, committed way.
And is that bad? You think it's wrong of Lala to have reservations?
So, all right, wait. So Lala's the person that wrote you.
Correct.
Right. And she wants to progress the relationship forward, make it more serious.
No, the other
wants to make it more serious.
Wants to make it more serious, and she kind of expressed reservations.
And they haven't
She didn't say no. She's saying, like, we haven't even met yet.
Yeah.
And I could see myself falling for you, but chill.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's funny because normally I'm probably the partner.
You're the partner
in the situation.
You're not Lala, yeah.
Right. You're Lala. But I think though, even as somebody that's usually the partner, I can still see that would probably be a bit of a red flag, just because like we haven't even met yet, and I've definitely had my moments talking to women like, yeah, this is cool. Oh, what? You went to HBCU? Yeah, so did I.
Let's get married.
Yeah. What you doing around this hour about 2 years from now? Like, let's do this, me and you.
Yeah.
Come on
so
now.
It might just be a difference in progression. Like, and that's not a bad thing.
Right. It's
you
not.
You just have to be cognizant, I think.
And I think that, honestly, people that are looking to get into serious commitments, they just have to know that it's like entrepreneurship. It's hard and it's unpredictable, and it's not going to come exactly when you want it to, but you need to have patience, and you need to have the stamina, if you will, to allow other people that don't have the same energy level as you to get up to your level, or at least close to your level, before presenting an idea that we should make this official.
Right. So what I would say, Lola, too, is you need to spend a night a couple times. You know what I mean? Like, it's long distance, so you haven't really been in that. Maybe take a couple treks to get flued out.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Just to try and to kind of
And I think communicating via FaceTime, it allows you to kind of put your best foot forward, but it can be a little bit fake because
and deceiving too.
Yeah, because because we can't physically touch each other and be around each other, then we're more protective of, we got to make sure that this works.
Right.
But when you're around each other, that's when you start to take things for granted. And if something gets on your nerves and you're living together, then you'll know.
Oh, this bitch.
Right.
I just brought you so loud.
Right. Yeah. She don't shut the fuck up. Like, she talked through all the songs.
I know.
Right.
Quit asking questions. Just watch the movie.
Right.
So that's what I would say, Lala.
Is that something you can relate to personally?
No.
Anyway, all right.
So if you guys have any letters, you need advice, hit your girl up. I got y'all.
So I don't have a full letter, but a gentleman contacted me.
Okay.
I reached out to some people, just wanted to see what the temperature was like out there in social media land. And one person in particular, he hit me up, and his name is Rico.
Like Puerto Rico, but sorta Rico?
Yes, sorta
okay.
Rico.
Sorta.
Don't call him Puerto Rico. He don't like that. But sorta Rico, he really wanted to know from you, it's just E. Do single mothers deserve high-value men? I don't know. Hey.
Wait.
Hey, that's sorta Rico. That ain't me. So look, y'all out there thinking that's me trying to masquerade behind the fake name of Sorta Rico. I'm not Sorta Rico, but Sorta Rico, he just really wanted to know, do single mothers deserve high value men, you know?
Well, what's a high value man?
I really don't know. It's Sorta Rico's question.
See, I don't know what a high value man is. Is that a man with a good job? Yeah, like, where do you find these people?
I don't know. I think it goes back to that conversation we had about the guy who was telling the woman about herself, and he was like, you have kids. You're average looking.
Yeah, like, no, I don't. I mean, I think we all deserve I don't know. What is a
high value man? Does that mean they make a certain bank account?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Salary.
They have a certain job that obtain a certain living.
I don't know. But Sorta Rico, you're about to get me in trouble with my co-host here.
We're cut.
I mean, but
we're not even entertaining that, because what is that?
But he really wants to know, Fine.
No.
Sorry, Puerto Rico. I can't believe
fine.
you sent me that
Because she has
BS.
kids?
Yeah, I guess maybe he's not mature.
You did that shit.
I didn't know. I didn't do that at all. That's Puerto Rico. All right, like, look, Puerto Rico. I'm gonna talk directly to you, brother. Hey, don't be over here sabotaging me, man. What the hell is wrong with you, man? I'm trying to do this podcast over here. This woman that get on my damn nerves, and you over here setting me up for the failure, man. Come on now, don't do that to me. So,
yeah, next.
Okay. Oh, so, we have another brother. His name is Malachi, always high, and.
Me too, Malachi. Me too.
Yeah, all right. Whatever. Past the green stuff. He said, I still can't believe I spent $150 on dinner and I didn't even hit yet. He said, I even bought flowers. I'm done being the nice guy. What are your thoughts, E?
Well, $150 is not, for two people? That ain't that much.
I mean...
That's not a lot. I mean, that's average. That's like...
Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Continue, please.
Where did we go to eat? Red Lobster? Because that's about $150 for two people.
I think he took it to Hello Bistro.
No,
he got a Beyond Burger.
I think. Damn.
So how do you feel about guys that
have that expectation?
Yeah, just because they spend money on a woman? What does that mean to you?
I mean, to me, it says less about, like, that's never going to happen with me. I'll pay for my own food. Like that expectation, like, why do we have, like, I always try to figure out the root of why is that expectation there? Like, who started that? Like, where did that come from?
I don't know,
that date equals sex.
Well, I don't know where that came from. I know where this came from. That was from Malachi, always high. Not me. But I don't know, him and Puerto Rico, man, they just
they're related, huh?
They might be. I mean, they hang together, I believe.
I mean, I have seen men who think that, but I've also seen women who just want to eat. Like, let me call my dinner dude. You know what I mean? So it could go both ways, really.
Okay, so another question by Cardi's. Sorry. Another question by Cardi2Fly. Cardi2Fly wants to know, what are your thoughts on men and women going 50-50 on paying bills in a relationship or marriage?
Okay, so there is never a 50-50. Like, because if one person makes more, their prorated amount is going to be more than the other person. Like, if you make considerably more than me and we have a lot of expenses, do you still expect me to spend my entire paycheck just to match your half? We're not roommates. And I think in life we have to figure it out. We got to have this split. And I'm not saying that both in my relationship you both contribute to the household. What you can. And sometimes that means I'm on top. Sometimes that means I'm on bottom. Like when I started my business, why? You have to do that.
I didn't do anything. I'm just listening to you talk. Sometimes you're on top. Sometimes you're on bottom.
Financially.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
That's not what you were talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about. Right. Well,
But my point is that sometimes one person carries more of a load than the other person, but what's more important, other than the percentage, is that you both are contributing to the household in the best way you can. I think we got to get rid of these roles and these expectations, because what works in my relationship might not work for your relationship. And what works for yours might not work for mine. So I think it's a process that you have to go through in a relationship, and you have to figure out, how does this work? Like, I don't want my man cleaning because he doesn't clean as good as me. You know what I mean? Like, I'll gladly take that on. And like, with the kids, like, everyone should be helping.
I was gonna say, you about to get massive DMs. They're gonna be like, oh shit, you like doing that shit? Oh shit.
I'm saying
You lazy slob.
like some people don't like, that's like having the kids clean. It's just not the way I do it. So just get out my way and let me do it right the first time. But and if I need help with the kids or I need help with something, then I'm gonna ask you. And it shouldn't be a big deal.
Okay.
You know, so I think you just have to figure out what works for you. I don't think there's any rules in relationships. Some women might easily be able to handle that, and other women might not be able to. I think we put these boxes around ourselves and say, like, a relationship has to be this way, it has to be this way. Those expectations are what ruins relationships, because now I resent you. Oh, you want me to clean, cook, you know, take care of the kids and work and do 50-50, and you do what? Just work? So now, like, we're building resentment, and that just is, like, kind of the beginning of the end of, you know?
So, to sum up, this stuff is case by case.
Yeah, like, who can say? Do what works for you. Worry less about what anyone else expects of you, and communicate with your partner and do what's best for you guys.
Well said, Erica. Anyway, do you have any final thoughts, E?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I feel like you're mocking me anyway.
No, well, you've gotten on my nerves this podcast, but it's okay. Because,
well, you know what? That's good, because you literally get on my nerves every podcast.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah, it's cool. Right. Well, that concludes another episode of Zoolander and E. I'm Zoolander.
And I'm E.
And we will see you